Hello PHP folks, we are starting MySQL chapter 3 and 4. You're going to read chapter 3. There's a tutorial that we'd like you to do with 2 points. It should get you started. And your first major program will be for chapter 4, and it's going to be called listofproducts.php. It is not from the book. You're going to be programming that one from scratch. That's worth 6 points. You also will do at the end of the book 4.1. That one is worth only 2 points because of course you have the solutions for that, but we hope that you will give it a try without it as long as you can. Okay, so with this video is going to explain about how to do list of products. For those of you who are not so familiar with programming, it should help you. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is to create a new PHP file in the done project, your favorite part, and it's going to go in the ch4x1 or directory already, and you can just name it list of products. So let's go ahead and do that. As a refresher, let me put this in the window so you can see it. We are in the done project right here. We want chapter 4 exercise 1. We're going to go to new file, right? And that one is going to be a PHP file, regular, next, and you just give it a name, list of products.php. The project is done because we selected it and the folder is already that, so we're all set. This is where I'm saving it on my drive. So finish, and we are gonna, let's see, yes, we continue, and down here it's saving appropriately. Put back the window where it belongs, and this gives us a blank PHP file. And what's good to do is just to say something like echo yes, we are remote, something like that, to make sure that you did indeed save that and it's working remotely. So let's save this. It looks like it did okay. And then I have a Mac, so I do function shift F6, and that should bring us to projects CS. You can see here the address is project CS Ohlone, blah blah blah, and yes, the program is running. So this is a good start. And next is a general statement about a difference between running from the book and running from our class server. And B is one of those things, database.php, which you may have read about already, talks about how to open up a database. And since we're not doing it on your own machine but on the class server, note the differences. First of all, Guitar Shop is now your number Guitar Shop 1 instead of my, and then your username is going to be your gen number as well, and so is your password. So that's going to be a little bit different from the book. The code should display all the records in the product table. So this is your final product. You're supposed to open up the database, come up with a label, product sorted by name in bold. Follow that with a simple list of printing the name of the product, a few spaces, and the price, and then a return statement. Well, actually it's an HTML break, so that on the browser the next record goes on the following line. So all the products in the database table gets listed. That's your job. To make this a little bit easier, and also we're going to be talking a lot this semester of pseudocode. Pseudocode is a great way to design a program in your own language, and then you simply translate those commands in whatever language you're writing. So let's take a look at the steps necessary to write this program. Number one, you're going to open the gen account Guitar Shop 1 database from the class server, and also we give you some hints about where you can find that code. If you need to, you can copy, paste, or adapt the same code from database.php. That one already does that, so that's all we have to do. We don't want include. Please put all your code in the script. Quickly, we can see the rest. You're going to assign a variable to the SQL query, as you probably have read in the book, and you're going to select all the records from the products table. That's the next thing to do, and you always have places to go find code that looks like it. Then you're going to execute that select statement. Here it says adapt code from page 143, get all categories. And then you're going to, once you have all that in a variable, then you can echo a bold title, right, which is what we saw here, a bold title, a product sorted by name. And then you're going to engage in the for each loop. You're going to get the data from all the rows of the result set, which has been gotten from the execute statement there. And on one line, you're going to echo the array elements. And the book also talk about string index. We'll see that later. And then so you're going to print the product name and the list price separated by 3 spaces, and you're going to use HTML non-breaking space symbol for that, and a break tag for the new line, and you're done. So this is the program. Let's do this together. Okay, so again, what we're going to do first is to open the GenAccount Guitar Shop database. And as you know, we can copy from database.php. So here we go, database.php. This is the code that you will find in practically all the exercises you're going to do in the book. So let's copy this. We don't need the PHP since we already have it in our list of products. Press enter, and here's the code pasted. Also, we no longer need this echo statement since we know it already works. Let's comment that out. So let's modify this code so it will work on the class server. The DSN is the first variable that we need for the path to MySQL. So you have MySQL colon host equal localhost, and DB name, database name, is going to be my guitar shop, but not really. It's going to be Gen39, right? So we change that there, and then the username is going to be same thing, Gen39, and the password is also Gen39. You don't need to understand all this code if you're new, but they have this system, try and catch. What the program is going to do is going to try to create a new object, PDO here, new PDO object. It needs 3 arguments, the DSN, which is again the path to the database, and then it needs the username, and it needs a password, and we already have those assigned. And if it works, no problem. Otherwise, if there's an error, it's going to go to the catch with some kind of PDO exception. Don't worry about all these variables, and then the error message is going to be assigned from a subroutine here, get message from this variable here, and then is going to include, which you probably have noticed from the book, that what happens here is the program will be, the execution of the program is going to change to database error PHP, which is another program which is in that same directory, so you don't even have to rewrite that. We won't worry about that. Okay, so this part will open the database. But let's not forget that every time we make a small change in the program, we should run it. So here we go, and there are no error messages, and of course we commented out the echo statement, so we're good. So back to the assignment. The next line is assign a variable with SQL query to select all records from the product table and sorted by product name, and we can even adapt this from page 143 from the get all categories from the product viewer application, explained fairly well in the book. So this is the program here. It's the index.php, and you notice it does require once the database.php, which we have just adapted, but this program continues by getting the information with this filter input function that you've seen. You getting a category ID from a form, but this program doesn't need it, so we can just skip that. And here is a select statement that we need. This one uses a where clause because it needs to find a specific record out of the database. We don't need that, so there's another example down here. Get all categories. It's not product, but this one looks good. It simply selects everything from categories, and we'll change that to be products instead. And it's going to do an order by, which is the same thing as sorting. And the other one, get product for selected category. This one gets it from products, but it also has a where clause, which we are not concerned with right now since we're going to get all the records. So this is the one we're going to copy and paste, and we might as well get the rest of it, which executes and gets all that data into categories. So I'm going to copy this back to list of products, and we're going to paste it right there. So let's adapt this one. This is a query of all categories, but normally you don't need to be very fancy with this variable. It's just a query, and it's going to use a select clause, select everything because of the star from, and this one we're going to change that to products, and we're going to order by not category ID but product name. Now I just happen to remember that one. If you don't remember the name field of that database, then you should simply go back to the PHP MyAdmin. This is looking at Guitar Shop, and here we have a list of all the data. Right, we're doing a browse in here, and here are the fields. We have product ID, we don't need that. Category ID, product code, we don't need that. But product name, capital N, you see, and list price. Those are the two fields or the two columns in this table that we're going to print out. So let's remember list price with a capital P. So we're good with that. Order by product name. Product statement 2 is taking this variable that we filled in with the address of the, actually it's the object containing the open window to that database. This is an object-oriented symbol. Don't worry about that too much, but it just kind of tells you here we have an object, and this arrow is choosing one of the functions that this arrow can do. It's like a button. You push this button, the prepare button, on this object, and you give it the name of a query or the variable which contains the code that the MySQL code that you want to execute, and this will prepare that code in a variable called statement 2. Now you can use statement 2 as an object also, and we're going to push the button execute on that object and into statement 2. Now we can take statement 2 and push the fetch all button on that object, and now we have all the records in the table products in the variable called categories. And then you have to close the cursor on the object statement 2. Unfortunately, there's not much we can print out yet, so we should save it, and I would go back to our file that was running on projects, and actually it's better to just refresh at that point, and still blank, so we have no error messages, so we're doing pretty well so far. Let's go to the next direction in the pseudocode. Okay, so execute, we have just done that. Now we're going to start printing the list. We have everything ready in the variable to go. So first we're going to echo a bold line for the upcoming printout, and it should look something like this: product sorted by name, colon, and a break. So let's go. We press return, give a new line. We can have a comment that says printing the list, and now we can echo list of products sorted by name. And this is a good time, right, to test the program out. So let's go ahead. Save, refresh, and there it is. But it's not bold. So what we actually need here, since we are all in PHP, we insert our bold tag right in the echo statement. And then we close the bold at the end of that, and then we have a break so we can get to the next line. Save, refresh, and there it is, bold. Very good. Let's go to the next line. Now we are ready for the for each loop to create our list, and that one we can find also in the same index file. So let's just go right to it, index page, and I'll show you at the very bottom is a very similar piece of code here. Here it is. It's a for each loop, and this one looks at the products table, which is exactly what we need, as product, and then we just make that up, that variable is made up as one product out of the list. It's using the colon method, where afterwards you can close PHP, and then it throws you back into HTML completely until the end of it, and you reopen PHP, end the for each, and end PHP. Of course, we already are in PHP, so we'll have to be changing this quite a bit. Let's copy and paste. Another problem we should fix right now is categories. I really forgot to rename that to projects. Products. So let's do that now. Products. Products. Yes, this is all of them. Okay. Now this is the way this pasted. You notice that this is kind of far away, and this is a good time to use the Shift tab to indent the code underneath the for each loop a little more appropriately. Okay, so we are in PHP. We don't need this. For each products is the name of the database at this point, not this variable here. Let's not get it confused. As product, and this is we make this up as one record from the list, and then since we are already in PHP, we don't need that either, but we do need to open a block, because the for each now opens a block, and on the bottom here is going to be the end of the brace. So here's the block. We don't need this tr because we're not doing a table. This one is printing a product code. We don't really need that either, so let's delete that. Let's delete all this. All we need is an echo statement right here, and we're going to take product, which remember is our one record from the list in this for each loop, and this is an array. I hope you have read that in the book. This is a variable which can contain several items, not just one, and the way we can retrieve each item is by this in the square bracket. Usually it's a number, as I think we've seen that before, but we can also use the name of a field. This product is an array of all the items in the table, and we can call those items by their database name, which is very handy in this case. Product name, We don't need this. We can delete that. um, Delete this all the way up to echo statement. Put this underneath the other one. Product list price. Luckily we have the name of our field already in this array, and we're done with this. Okay, now we have some other details to take care of. Remember that we need 3 spaces in between the name and the price. So right after printing product name, what we could do is use the dot for concatenation, remember? And inside the quotes, the string here, we're going to create the non-breaking space. This is the command in HTML to create a space. I'm going to copy that and paste twice. So here we have 3 spaces concatenated right after the product name. Then we echo product list price, and after this we need to concatenate another string which contains simply a break tag, and that will take us to the next line. We don't need this, and I think we're done. For each loop, we're looking at the table products. We're pulling out one line at a time. We're echoing that line, and only that field for that line. We're concatenating 3 spaces, semicolon to end this. We have the echo product list price, concatenating a break, and we're going to save, and we're going to see if it runs. And there it is. So folks, this is all you need to do for this exercise. Good luck. Thank you very much for listening.